Alright guys, just want to thank y'all for coming out, and I don't want to hold y'all up too long before we get right into it, but I just want to let you know that we have a video that's going to have 2 days crammed in to one video. The first part of it, the first 2 fish, were from the first day. I just wanted to see how the craft would work, what I needed to do to rig it out, and I found out you don't want to fish off a board that's not rigged out. I missed a lot of fish because I didn't have my rod where I needed to reach and grab it. But I went home, rigged it out, went back the very next day, and as you see, I done a lot better. And I've had it out a couple other times after that, so just spoiler alert, it gets better every day. Every time I go out, I do better with it because I learn it better. And of course, I've had some very blessed days. I mean, just getting on some wonderful groups of fish. I mean, just big schools of reds, and it's just been a blast. So, all right, guys, let's get right into it. Okay, that was a just flat slap on the water. Being right in front of his face as he was running away. Guys, this is the first fish on my new craft. Oh wow, yeah, that was fun right there. But as you can see, I am sitting on a, well, I guess they technically call this a paddle board, but I'm not using it as a paddle board. This is my new kayak. I'm not going to be standing up on this thing much. Occasionally I stand up, but I'm rigging it out to where I can chase these redfish, guys. And right now I really don't have it rigged out much. I just sitting on the ice chest and have a couple of dry boxes there with my tools in it. This is a Bote brand 12-foot HD. I got a heck of a deal on it. I wouldn't have bought it for full price, but I got a real good deal. I think this might even be a slot. My first fish is gonna be a slot. Well, I gotta say, I'm still getting my sea legs on it. It's fairly sturdy. It's only 33 inches wide, and so, well, and I'm sitting kind of high. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to mount my seat about the way it was in my kayak. I'm just waiting for me to get up against the bank here. I'm probably going to put a foot down and deal with this guy. But anyway, he's a nice little old, probably 21, 22 incher. But yeah, so it's a little wobbly with me sitting up here on this ice chest, about 15 inches, but you know, I'll get her all rigged out. I think she'll work good. Main reason I went with this was because I want to get up really shallow, and this thing has a very okay, let's see here what this guy is. He is 21 and a little over 21 inches. Hey, you guy, how you like being the first one on my board? I think you're gonna be lunch tonight. Well, I'm gonna put him in my box, and then we're gonna go on to the next one. We'll talk a little more about it. And I've been a little while fishing, and being you don't have when you first start in a new vessel, you don't have a lot of things together. Let me just kind of step off, and I'm gonna let you see the whole thing, if you can see it. Boy, I got her all dirty. Shame to have such a pretty board all dirty, but anyway, there she is. Bote HD 12 foot, and let's just put this guy inside the cooler. But I think I can set my seat on there just up about 6 or 8 inches off the deck, and I think I'll be fine. And I think it's going to be the ticket, guys, for shallow water. I still hadn't given up on my old vibe. Y'all seen it's been producing really good, but I just wanted to try this out, and it does float shallow. I can get up in about 3.5 inches of water, maybe 3 inches, and that's pretty good. So anyway, guys, let's just move on to the next one. I know he's not that big, but he had his nose up on the bank, and I said, well, we got to do something about it. We got to do a little training. All right, guys, this is number 2 on this fine new craft. Well, guys, I don't know if he'll be a slot. He didn't look very big, but he might be 20. I really need to get this thing rigged out the way I want it, with the seat. And it comes with fins, 1 10-inch long and then 2 about 4. I think I'm going to try putting the 2 4s on and see if it'll track a little better. It turns so easy, but that kind of is a problem. It works kind of against me whenever I want to try to work on a fish. It'll turn the boat. Yeah, I think he's an easy keeper, guys. He's easily over. I don't know, can't see, but right now I'm barely balancing myself. We can't get too carried away here. Well, when I said easy, he ain't easy. 19 3/4. Well, I didn't think he was really that big when I first saw him, so I guess that's all right. I thought he possibly would have been number 2, but when I get everything together, whenever we're, there's a red right there, but I'm not ready for him. Oh, guys. Well, it may be a black drum. I'm seeing a couple of tails, and I'm just seeing if I could entice one of them guys to, and that's exactly what it is, a black drum. Well, this is the 3rd fish caught on this board, and you guys seen the beginning of this video, but I needed a part 2. I just don't like fishing on a platform that's not set up right, so I went ahead and I called it a day after that 2nd fish, and I went home and I have done some mods on this thing. I have my seat. I took the seat out of my native watercraft and I made a little PVC stand, and I'm setting up about 9 inches off the deck of the boat, or board. Somebody's gonna say, oh, it's not a boat. Anyway, it's my boat. All right, come here, guy. Nice little drum. Well, we got our official rod holder right here where I'm always able to reach and grab the rod real quick. I missed about three redfish yesterday because the rod wasn't right here where I could grab it and pitch to them real quick. So it is so important. Well, let's just see what we got. 17-inch drum. Guy, you're a nice drum for, you get to go home with me. Alright guys, I'm going to put him in the box. I've seen some redfish, or heard them. I haven't seen them, but I heard bust up against the bank over there, and I just got into this little area. Y'all have seen me fish it before. Last time I was here, I barely could scoot through here with my kayak. We have maybe an inch or two more water today, so I should be able to go a lot of places. I did put the little 4-inch fins on the back of this thing, so I will drag a little bit. And if it's real hard bottom where they don't slice through the mud, but if it's that hard, I don't have no problem stepping out. Look at these, I'm seeing tails pop up, but it's these guys, which is good, you know, but that's not what you normally don't do that good with a lure, but it's possible. Just like this, I might play with these guys. I'm getting me a few of these before I go get my reds, because I can see one here for sure with the tail up, and I see one way out there pop up. So all right, I'll bring y'all back in a minute. Alright guys, finally snagged me a red. Well, when I say finally, it hasn't been real long, but just trying out putting my foot down. That's the first time I put my foot down in this thing. Seems to work fine. That was what I was going for, putting the seat a little lower than I think I had to, because I wanted to be able to stop it easy. This guy's a pretty good little slot. I thought he was little when I first saw him, but I think he's going to be a low-end slot, maybe 21, 22. Come here, guy. But yeah, that's awesome. I went through a little cut right here. I couldn't have went with that with my vibe. I mean, it was shallow. It's still shallow. Come here, fella. It's gonna be the ticket, guys. I really like my vibe, but when I'm up here in this shallow water, it's just, I can't go. Not easy. And so you guys will probably see me fishing with it more. I don't know. It definitely has a place. This one's not cut out for rough water, deeper water. But right now, what I'm doing in these marshes, this is the kind of craft that I think will work best for me right now. And yeah, well, what were you doing? Just nosing around, huh? Oh yeah, easy. But I will tell you guys about this boat here. I just took it out one time and I bumped into the dock, and it is so paper thin that it knocked that burn little hole in it. So he's 20, almost 24. He would be 24. Oh, 24. Hey guy, guess what? You get to come home with me. Alright, well guys, but yeah, I knocked a little hole in it, but I just put a little 2-part epoxy on it and it'll be fine. But it just tells me how this boat is very sensitive. It just has a paper thin shell. It's super light, but you don't want to abuse it at all. Oyster shells or anything, I think it would just cut right through. So I'm not sure I wouldn't have went with a inflatable, and that's what I might tell you guys if you're thinking about it. I think them inflatables will be tougher than this guy, and because you know, I felt around on them. Them rascals are tough, and they have kits to patch them if you get a hole in them or whatever. But at least you can bump it up against something, you wouldn't crack it. And you're carrying this thing on your vehicle or whatever, you got to be very careful nothing rubs. They say you don't ratchet strap it to the top because it can crack. So there's a few things about it that I'm gonna have to really be cautious about. But anyway, guys, I'm gonna put this fella in the box and we're gonna move on, see if we can get us another one. But as you know, as I go, I learn all the time, learn about the vehicle or the craft that I'm fishing off of and whatever. But I'll let you know what I think more and more as I fish with it. And I hope you guys that are kayak fishermen don't hate on me too much for not fishing in an official kayak right now. But I guess kayaks have all shapes anyway. I mean, this can be considered a kayak the way I'm doing it, just sitting in the kayak chair. Alright, enough talk, let's go to the next one. Maybe we can do something. Yeah, that's what we can do. Oh yeah. Guy, you shouldn't have been making so much noise over there. You gave your position away when I was 30 yards away. All right, man, I love this. I love this, guys. It's a little hard to find them. The tide is up a little finally, and but they get up in that grass, and it's not the easiest to do something with them. So when you find a little spot like that where you can pitch to them, that's pretty good. Nice slot. I would say he's a good one. Let's just see how good you are, guy. Get over here. You hook good? There, you hook good. Well, nice. Just scoot right over here. Just lay right here on the board for us. 21 inches. Good, respectable slot. Alright, guys. I think we're going to get a hold of this rascal and put him in the box at number 2. And yeah, he wasn't hooked deep. He barely was hooked. But I put a sharpening right when I changed batteries on my camera. I hit that hook on my sharpening stone, and that might have been the difference. It was just enough to keep it hung there, and he couldn't shake it because it was so razor sharp. So sharpen your hooks, guys. Alright, let's go on to the next one. work every time. Well, I don't mean it'll work like, uh-oh, I don't know if I can reach the bottom here. All right, I barely got a tippy toe on the bottom. I didn't want him taking us off this bank. Yeah. All right, guys. Seen one against the bank. He didn't want to play. And I saw that one coming to me. Turned. I was a little, well, I don't know about concerned. I was just curious whether this board will sneak up on them as good as I've been able to sneak up on them with my vibe. And I'm finding that I think they even, being it's less stuff in the water to scare them, I think that I'm able to get even closer. I see them and they just kind of sit there and they don't bust off like they do in my vibe, but sometimes they do that as well in my vibe. They kind of stay close, so I don't really know. They may, but look how easy it is to slide that rascal up on the board though. Here, line up, guy. Let's just see how you were a good 21. You're going to be number 3, even though I think we got a lot of good bank in front of us and we're pretty good ways out still. But I want to go ahead and get my 3 keepers, and then everything else is just kind of play, try to make a good video. And guys, I'm still I'm using the chicken of the sea on that twist lock, about a 1/8 twist lock. And anyway, I have to kind of fix it a little bit. That was fun, and I think we just now getting into them fairly thick. They've been really scattered, but in the last maybe 50 yards down this bank I've seen about 6 or 7. So I finally found them. That's still the key to it all. You have to find them. I don't care how good you are, how good equipment you have, and what you fish with. If you don't find them, you can't catch them. And there's a certain amount in most water. I mean, scattered, and that's what I used to always fish, just scattered. But since I've been kind of fishing quite regularly, I've kind of learning where they're hanging out these days, and I'm able to kind of track their schools. So it's a lot easier when you go fairly often than if you just go once in a great while. But I know you guys don't all get a chance to go that often, so just go where you have found them in the past and start from there. All right, well, let's move on, see if we can't hook on to another one. All right, guys, I think I'm gonna give my outro here. Just wanted to show the boat off a little bit for me standing out in the water looking at it. And yeah, that's her. It's a beautiful little board. It probably won't be that way after I fish with it. In these marshes, you can't help but get them all muddy, but mud washes off. And anyway, had a good day, caught a few fish. Guess, what was it, 4 keepers? Can't complain about that. 1 nice drum. So anyway, this is her, 12 foot. I said 33, but I think it's only 32 inches wide. But yeah, I got a little frame made out of PVC that works with that seat, and it just acts as a kayak, but one that floats really shallow. So that's what I was after. It doesn't paddle quite as good as a kayak does, but up in the shallow water where you're just barely easing along, it don't really matter. It does okay. So all right, guys, I want to say God bless, and we will see y'all next time.